What?
What?
What the hell is this?
Harumph. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
Give the governor harumph.
Harumph. You watch your ass.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Let the show begin.
Hey, everybody, this is David Heretic coming at you with another edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. And tonight. All right, coming back to Foo Fighters. Yes, indeed. Foo Fighters fans, feeling you. Come on now. Here we go. Before we go any further, for those of you who are feeling inclined to doing all of the clicks and the likes and the bibbity-boobity bop, do me a favor before you do all that stuff. Please watch the whole video first, okay? Give me a chance to actually earn those clicks and likes. Now, after the video's done, if you still feel like doing all those clicks and likes, then by all means, feel free to click away. This comes as a request from Ben Guevara, and Ben wanted to see me react to this song by Foo Fighters called Baker Street. Now, have I heard this song before? No, I have not. To the best of my knowledge, this does not resonate with me in any way, shape, or form. However, there's always a possibility I may have heard this song in passing and I just don't realize it. So as always, if I start listening to the song and I suddenly go, wait a second, hold on, I recognize this song, I'll let you know.
That's the truth.
You know me, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Let's say this was posted by High Quality Music, all one word, no spaces whatsoever, and the video has 1,200 views. There you go. Other than that, there's really nothing else left to say. Link to the original video will be down below in the video description for your viewing pleasure at your leisure. Let's get started. What do you say? Are you ready? Are you ready? Because here we go. All right, here we go. Baker Street, Foo Fighters. Short, sweet, and to the point. All right, let's do this.
All right, boy, let's do this.
I was kind of getting the feeling like I've heard this before. Like, okay, like maybe this is a cover or something. Because it wasn't this. It was. Maybe I'm just going crazy. I don't know. I could have sworn I've heard. I could have sworn I've heard that before somewhere. And again, maybe my mind's just playing tricks on me. But it didn't sound like this. I guarantee you it did not sound like this. I don't know, man. It's kind of bugging me now. Like, I feel like maybe this might be a cover, but there's no mention of a cover. Doesn't say it's a cover. Ben didn't say it was a cover when he requested it, so I don't know, man. We're gonna have to just kind of go along with this to see what happens here.
This city's dance makes you feel so cold. It's got so many people, but it's got no soul, and it's taken you so long to find out you were wrong when you thought it everything.
Maybe it's a I mean, it's just a lead line. Maybe I've heard it. Like, maybe I've heard something similar. Like that lead line, I've heard something like it. Maybe that's what's going on.
There's a light in his place. Opens the doors, got that look on his face, and he asks you where you been. You tell him who you seen, and you talk about everything. He's got this dream about buying some land. He's gonna give up the crack and the one night stands, and then he'll settle down. It's a quiet little town and forget about everything. But you know we'll always keep moving. You know he's never gonna stop moving. 'Cause he's a rolling stone. When you wake up, it's a new morning. The sun is shining, it's a new morning. You're going home.
I like the transition. I really like that transition. I think that's the pre-chorus. D down to the A, back up to the D, down to the A, up to the C, down a half step to the B, which would be the major third of the G. So you could look at it as either, just making a half, going from the 7 to the major 6, the minor 7 to the major 6, which would work, or minor 7 down to the 4, and making a G major with the B in there. But it sounds like they're really focusing on the B, so I don't think it's the G. The G is just a subharmonic. From the C to the B, to the A to resolve. And then from the A down to the G, down to the root again to the D. It's a nice progression. Very pleasing to the ear. That melodic line is still bugging me. Like, maybe I've heard another song that has a very similar melodic line, and that's very possible. But none come to mind. Oh, man. I don't know. I don't know. It's bugging me, but I can't put my finger on it. And I think that's the most irritating thing about it, is it screams familiarity. I just don't know where from. But that's the only thing. Like, nothing else sounds familiar. Real quick, one other thing I want to mention. I like the usage of dynamics, separating each phrase. We have the main riff going, which is the chorus. We go into the verse and everything just comes down. And that's happened on both verses. Now, it came down way more on the first verse than it did on the second verse. But the second verse still came down in comparison to what's happening within the pre-chorus, where every time we hit the pre-chorus, it comes right back up again. And then when we hit the main riff, which is the chorus, it's full volume. I like that. I like the usage of dynamics to separate the phrases. It's just another way of making things simplified for the listener. You don't have to really think about it. They're making it very obvious. Here's this phrase, and then when we turn the volume up, here's this phrase. I like that. I do like that. It makes perfect sense, actually. Let's keep going here. C to the A to the G. Yep. so. That was a nice little drum transition. Linear fade. I mean, they are just vamping, so. I mean, there's stronger ways they could have ended, but since they're just vamping it out anyway, I mean, I guess it works. There's stronger ways it could have ended, but that's all right. Not a lot to talk about. Honestly, there really is not a lot to discuss here. It's pretty straightforward. Let me get my thoughts together. I'll see you in the review, and we'll talk about it. Well, there you go, folks. That was Foo Fighters with a song entitled Baker Street. This was a request from Ben Guevara. Okay, not a lot to discuss here. This is going to be a pretty cut and dry review, if I'm being honest with you. Let's start with the score first, and we'll go from there. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give that a 7.0. Yep, 7.0. I feel good about that score. Let me tell you why.
Why?
Okay, first things first, 7.0. What does that mean? Well, a 7.0 would translate to a really good scale rating because overall, I think this was a really good song. It would also equate out to 4 to 5 stars and a B letter grade. So there you go, a 7.0, really good scale rating, 4 to 5 stars, and a B letter grade. Now, how did I come up with that score? So glad you asked. Okay, it's a very straight ahead song. The main riff, catchy. It's definitely catchy, especially with that melodic line. Now, here's the thing. This is just for me. It was kind of irritating because I'm hearing this melodic line. I'm like, this sounds like something I've heard before. Now, maybe I've heard that exact line before. Or maybe I've heard, and this is more likely, maybe I've heard a melodic line that sounds very similar to that. It's very possible, and more than likely that's the case. But it's irritating because the whole time, every time I would hear it, I would just get a little more frustrated. And I'm just thinking to myself, what is this? Where have I heard something like this before? Because it's like, okay, to put it into perspective for you guys, you guys ever had one of those times where you're just, doing absolutely nothing, and or you're working on something, kind of redundant or whatever, and all of a sudden this melodic line pops in your head, and it just starts running in circles around your head, and you recognize it. It sounds very familiar, and yet you have no idea where you heard it or what it is or what the name of the song is or even the name of the artist. None of that's coming to mind, but that melodic line is just running laps in your mind, and it just irritates you because you're sitting here going, what is that? I know I've heard it. It's familiar. Obviously, I've heard it before because it's running laps right now, but I don't know who it is. I don't know what it is. I don't know the name of the song because I want to go listen to it right now, like right now, and I can't because I don't know what it is. It's a little frustrating. But it's catchy. It's definitely catchy. That melodic line is going to be running laps through my mind probably the rest of the day. Thanks a lot. But the main riff itself that was going on underneath that melodic line, that was nicely done. It's a very simple riff. You got the root down to the 7, down to the 4, up to the 5. I like it. It's catchy. And by going up to the 5, it leaves you a lot of possibilities as far as where you're going to go next. From the 5, you can go to the 7 to the root. From the 5, you can go to the 4 to the 3 to the root. I mean, when you end up on the 5 and you're utilizing the 5 as the basis of your transition, there's a lot you can do. There's a lot of avenues you can take. From the 5, I've heard people move up chromatically. 5, flat 6, 6, flat 7, 7, 8. I've heard that done. You just have to figure out the rhythm for it. You got to figure out the rhythmic pattern you're going to utilize. I really enjoyed the usage of dynamics to help separate and identify each phrase of the song. I'm not saying this, if you feel insulted by what I'm about to say, I'm sorry, but I'm not naming names or pointing fingers. So if you feel insulted, that's on you. But it really helps make the song idiot-proof. You really don't need to think about it. You don't need to sit there and try to figure out, I wonder where we are on the song. The dynamics make it glaringly obvious what we are doing, where we are, and where we're going. So when they get to the verse, dynamics way down. When you came up into the pre-chorus, it came up, making it very obvious we are switching phases. We are switching phrases. We are switching to the new section. And I think that's really smart songwriting. As far as instrumentally goes, if I'm being honest, instrumentally was probably the least impressive part about the song. What was not so much the choral selection, that would be songwriting, but as far as playing, as far as, what the musicianship level was, this was a very basic, simple song. Simple can be effective when done properly, absolutely. And this song was done properly. But I'm not, at the same time, I'm not going to sit here and say I was blown away by the guitar playing, because honestly, I wasn't. I'm not going to sit here and say I was blown away by the bass playing, because honestly, I wasn't. The most impressive instrument, honestly, in this song, in my opinion, was the drumming, because they had the drummer had some really nice fills and some really nice transitional work happening to set up each return, like through the ending. For example, when we just started vamping and vamping and vamping and vamping, every time we would come back around to start over again, there was a really nice transition, especially that one of the last, I think it was the last transition we really heard before they started their long linear fade. Really impactful more than anything else. It sounded really nice. Vocally, honestly, it was basic. I mean, it was done well, yes. It was executed cleanly, yes, but I've heard Dave Grohl sing way more impressively on other songs. Forget about other bands. Just from Foo Fighters songs alone, I've heard him sing way more impressively than I did on this song. But I don't think the song really called for it. I think what Dave sang on the song fit the context of the song. Wasn't impressive, but it made the song work, absolutely. So, taking all these factors into account here, this is how I'm coming up with a 7.0. I feel good with that score, and that's where we're going to stay. So let's wrap everything up here in a nice shiny bow, shall we? We have a 7.0, which is a really good skill rating, 4 to 5 stars, and a B letter grade. Take your pick, I don't care, whichever one of those floats your boat. Final word, final score, I have spoken. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. Hope you all enjoyed the show. Hope I was able to entertain you. If I was able to put a smile on your face and brighten your day, I did my job, and I'm so glad I could do it. If you guys feel like joining the fan base, go ahead and click on that button down there. If you guys want to like the video, go ahead and like the video. If you guys want to ring the bell, go ahead and ring the bell. It honestly doesn't make any difference at all to me, but if you guys feel like doing these things, well then by all means, feel free to do so. Well, that's going to do it for the night, folks. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, this is David Heretic signing off, reminding you to stay fabulous and support each other. Later. Peace.